What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. CDK Boxing. Let's talk boxing. I got my brother with me, man, Mr. BVO. He got that raggedy Cleveland Browns field up there. I don't know why he jumped off the camera for me to see that Cleveland Browns field, but nevertheless, we here, man. And listen, it's almost Christmas time. I just want to give thanks to God for allowing me to see another year clean and sober. There's a present for myself. I came a long way. Anybody know my situation? And you know me, you know I'm a man of God. BVO is a man of God. And this is my brother right here. Me and this man have never seen each other face to face. But, when I started getting my life together, I started watching his channel. And I started, getting back into the love of boxing. And he don't know it, but he got a lot to do with that. And he was like some of my therapy, man, because I would hear this brother talk and listen to what he had to say. And it just made me want to do something different. And God told me, man, take that path. You know what I'm saying? So God led me to BVO channel. And BVO don't know that he's a lot of my sobriety and my being clean and stuff. He got a lot to do with that, man. I want to thank you for that, bro.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. All glory to God on that.
Definitely. Now listen, I told y'all what it was and what it is, man. He really don't need no introduction, but I'm gonna give it to you. If you're a casual fan and you just like movies, you've seen him in movies. If you like to read books, guess what? He's done that too. Man, Jacob Stitch Duran is a man that has done it all. You know what I'm saying? He's been in Rocky Balboa. He's been in Creed. I don't think 1, but 2 and 3. This man has done it all. He is, you know what I'm saying, without a doubt, you know what I'm saying, the most famous cut man in the world. When I tell you that, I'm going to say it again. He is the most famous cut man in the world. He was recently in Mike Tyson's corner in the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. If you didn't know that, this man right here, you know what I'm saying, needs no introduction. And it's just an honor and a pleasure, man. And, my brother BVO, if you didn't get to see that, BVO brought me up on his channel when BVO interviewed him. I want y'all to check out that too, man, because this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this thing grow, and I'm going to bring him up. Nobody knows more than him. He's been in a lot of corners. He's heard a lot of things. He has an opportunity, and he's an all-time great. So let me bring, man, Mr. Jacob Duran Stitch, Jacob Stitch Duran. Let me say it again up on stage. Give me 1 second. How you doing, sir?
What's up, my man? BBO, what's up, man? Long time no talk, brother.
Oh,
Ain't nothing
good
wrong
to
with
see
Cleveland Browns either.
So. Oh, yeah. I know you're a Browns fan, too. I know you're a Browns fan,
too. You a Brown fan?
No, I'm not. But hey, you got to respect them. I lived in Oakland for a while. I'm in Vegas. The Raiders followed me here. Now the Oakland A's are going to follow me here. So Las Vegas is home for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Browns. I think the only thing missing from the Browns, just to be honest, is just having a quarterback. Jameis Winston, he throws just as many interceptions as he throws touchdowns. The guy, man, he go out there, and when I tell you, man, he can hype a team up. I think he's the best hype man that I've ever seen in football ever. He can go out there and talk $1 million game and got a $2 arm. So that's what I see. He got $1 million fault with a $2 arm. But like I said, everybody, man, listen, I don't really have to introduce this man right here, and it's really truly an honor. And I don't know, he don't know how much I love boxing, but as long as I've been watching boxing, I can remember seeing you in somebody's corner. So for me, man, this right here, BBO know how much I love boxing. This, I've been in the ring. I've done it all, man. When it comes to boxing, I've been around for a while myself. I ain't a young man. I ain't an old man either. I'm gonna say that. I'm 51, so I'm not old yet, but I'm real seasoned. I'll put it that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm seasoned. And man, Jacob Stitch Duran, you've seen him in Rocket Balboa. You've seen him in Creed. Let me make sure I got this right. 2 and 3, but not 1, right?
1, 2, and 3, and working on.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, Michael told me you with me as long as you want. So I'm gonna be with him as long as he wants. So
definitely, man. You can't make a movie about boxing if you're not in it. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. You are the man that's in the corner. And
somebody asked me yesterday. I did an interview yesterday. Would you be interested in doing another boxing movie with another actor? And I thought about it. I said, well, if I did, I'd check with Michael B first out of respect, and I let him know that I got this offer, and what do you think? So It could be worse.
For sure. For sure.
Let me ask you a question, because I was thinking about something that happened in the movie, and I don't know if this really happened ever in life, but maybe it has. And I said, I got to ask you this question. The referee had asked the fighter how many fingers you holding up, and you tapped the fighter on the back.
Yeah.
So have you ever truly had to do that for real, like tap a fighter on the back and say, yeah, he's holding up 2 fingers? I know you might not want to tell us the truth.
Yeah, no, let me tell you behind the scenes. Brian Coogler comes up to me and he says, what do you think? I said, yeah, let's do it. And it was funny because when we did the premiere in Los Angeles, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger there, you got all these actors there. And when that scene came out, they all started clapping, right? But in reality, and I told Sylvester Stallone also, the cutman mic, that's Hollywood only. And this fingers here, that's Hollywood only, because if a fighter can't see with one eye, the referee's going to stop the fight because the fighter is at a disadvantage. But it was great for Hollywood. So
it was. Go ahead, BBO.
So that being said, what do you think about your son Klitschko coming back, man? He sounds like he wants to come back and beat George Foreman's record as the oldest heavyweight champion. What do you think about that?
I just heard that yesterday for the first time. But one thing I gotta give Vladimir credit for is this man stays in 100% physical condition. For him to come back, that seems to be the new trend. Guys coming back and going after glory. And but I love me some Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko, man. They're just good people, and I wish him well. And hopefully I'd be able to work in his corner if he does fight. So we'll see.
And I wanted to ask you, how did that Caleb Plant camp go? I know you was working with Caleb Plant last time we spoke. How did that go, you think?
Yeah, I know. Caleb's always training and trains hard, and it's good. He's a good guy, man. I tell people, Caleb's my friend, but I'm scared of him. Just his personality, right? He's that kind of guy that he just looks mean on the outside, but deep inside, he's a hell of a man. Got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah. He'll slap you.
And it's funny. I wrap his hands every time he goes in sparring, and there's dialogue as we talk, and I said, man, you know what? You got to tell me what happened when you slapped my man.
Yeah.
he gave me the whole story, right? And he disrespected my wife. That was really the bottom line.
Man.
And but Caleb, like I say, man, he's my friend, but I'm scared of him.
Hey, he's that guy. He's that guy, man. That you got to watch out at the club, because he'll knock you out about his wife, man, on accident.
and then buy you a beer, So
I can't be mad. I'm not mad at him for that, because when it comes to your wife, I mean, that's your job as a man to protect your wife.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? She's your queen, you're her king, and I understand that. And I remember, I think it was something him saying about basically he had tried to give her a nickname. You can't give nobody's wife a nickname if you don't know her. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You're not gonna call my wife a nickname and you don't know her. Like, hey, where that come from? So it didn't make sense, And I really do hope that Jamal Charlo, whatever happens with him, he gets himself together. And I, like I said, one thing BB don't know about me, man, when I do an interview, I do a lot of study, and I go back and try to find out everything I can about the person. Because even though I feel like I know you, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot to be, you know what I'm saying, a lot of things I want to ask you. And going back to 2015, I definitely want to go back there. I seen where you had got let go by the UFC because of a statement you had made about the Reebok contract deal. And I had to go look into that. And what I looked into was they wanted the cut man to, have the same rules as the fighters. If I'm correct, wanted y'all to be, you could only wear the Reebok logo and all of that, but y'all wasn't getting paid. And I looked into that. I said, let me look a little bit deeper, and I seen where it come from, because a lot of time when you hear about civil rights activists and stuff, you think about black people, what I'm saying, in general. And my grandmother was a civil rights activist, but I seen that your parents was also a part of that, because where y'all came from, and you working in the fields and stuff. It was said that you had said that y'all wanted better equality as far as having bathrooms and stuff like that. So that's what really made you make your statement. I mean, looking back on it now, would you change anything you done about the statement you made?
Nah, man, you did do your homework, man. I'm impressed.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, my parents fought for the rights with Cesar Chavez, and
Yeah.
I grew up born and raised as a migrant, as a farm worker. Until I joined the Air Force. I was working in the fields. But yeah, when that opportunity came, because the UFC wasn't paying money, and the thing about it is fighters were they needed the UFC just like us to make money through sponsors. And what happened is that they went into Reebok and didn't notify nobody, and they told all the fighters that you guys can't wear sponsors anymore. And some fighters are making 50, 100 grand a fight on sponsorship, right? I was making excellent salary through my sponsorships. So they told the fighters they couldn't have it. Anyway, they called all the cutmen in from the 10 of us into Las Vegas, and they told us the same thing. So being that I was always if I had a sponsor, I would try to negotiate for you and for BVO and try to get the team, everybody involved. And I tried to hit them up for more money for us because they were paying us like $1,000 a show, which is nothing, right? And but they said they had no money. And then John Nash from BloodyElbow.com, never met the gentleman. He called me and asked if I'd be interested in doing an interview, how the Reebok deal affected the cutman. And so, of course, I go back to my parents and, I spoke up for us. And that went viral. And right here, where I'm talking right here, I get a call from my friends. And they say, because of the interview you did about Reebok, the UFC is not going to use you no more. And I said, all right. I said, well, do me a favor. You tell Dana, because Dana's the one that brought me in. I knew when Dana brought me in, there was only like 12 employees, brand new. And I said, all right, well, do me a favor. You tell Dana. I said that he ain't got no balls, that he should have called me personally, man to man.
Definitely.
And that went viral. And till now, bro, I was I was at the Raider game Monday Night Football just last Monday. And these guys from England say, hey, man, this is the famous cutman, from the UFC, legendary. So they still associate me with the UFC, which is fine because I became the face really of the rebellion and trying to make it better and safer for all these fighters. And so, yeah, you got to speak your piece.
Man, I respect that. Go ahead, BVL.
So the thing I'll ask you the most is when, you're getting into boxing. I know one thing you said is you probably will never retire. But let me ask you this. Now that you're teaching more and more students, have you kind of found that next thing as far as being a teacher? Do you enjoy that more?
Yeah, I always enjoyed, teaching. And it's because it's not fair to you guys, the fighters. Now keep in mind, because none of us have to be certified. Every other major sport, you have to be certified to be a coach, be a trainer, be whatever. None of us have to be certified to be called professional cutmen or professional trainers. So I see so many mistakes in the game till even now that I put out a video. I've done seminars. I've loved doing seminars because of my schedule. It's hard to do it. I mean, I've been to Mexico City. I've been to Oaxaca. I've been to Greece. I've been to Germany doing interviews for a lot of people. But because of my traveling now, so I put a video out. It's called Giving the Fighter One More Round. It's only $50, but it shows you everything that I do in the seminar. And it's not for me to make money. It's for you to pick it up and learn the little basic foundations of how to take care of these fighters, So, and that's available at stitchduran.com, and even let's say you just want to learn how to wrap hands for boxing, or you can rent that segment for $10, So, yeah, it's not about the money, bro. It's about, my legacy. And that was a good question, BVO. My legacy when I leave is that I made this game a lot safer for these young fighters.
Definitely, and that means a lot. And what you saying, like you traveled all around the world. I think in 1972 is when the first year you went to Thailand, and you went over there, and that's where you, I believe, say you fell in love with the sport because your first thing you ever seen was I guess it was a multi-fight. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I joined the Air Force. I love baseball. My dream was always to be a professional baseball player, to play third base. So I walked on to a college that was 9 miles away from my little town, but I had to have a car. So I would go to school with friends, and they would leave after school, and I would stay in practice, and then I'd have to hitchhike home. And so I joined the military. I joined the Air Force in 1972. And I told myself if I ever went to the Orient, I'd want to study the martial arts. That was during the Bruce Lee era. and they sent me to a place called Thailand. I didn't even know what Thailand was, bro. And I saw my first Muay Thai fight, and from there on, that whole year, every day I trained in the martial arts and got back to the States and got back. I lived in Oakland and got into boxing, and then I opened up my own school of kickboxing, and that's how I learned to be a cutman. And then I made the move to Vegas, going on 30 years. So,
yeah. You was one of the first, I guess, international box kickboxing. You had one of the first. I guess you was one of the first promoters, international promoters, for what I seen for the federation and stuff. Was you one of the first promoters in kickboxing?
well, for the IKF, I was their first promoter. I promoted fights in Fairfield. I did it with a baseball team from the college, Solana College, of all things, right? So maybe I was destined for baseball. So we did a promotion there, and then I did it at the Air Force Base, Travis Air Force Base. I did one there, and so yeah, I promoted fights. I was telling a guy last night, he was bragging that in boxing I went to Top Rank Gym, and oh yeah, man, this is the first time a world champion trainer has promoted fights. I said, wait, hold on, man. I promoted fights before. I was a world-class trainer before. Yeah. But I'm in boxing, he says. all right, so yeah. So I've done them all, man, but being a cutman kind of floated to the top. And when I moved to Vegas, I came solely to be a cutman, but I was in the gyms and I saw these guys doing pad work, and I said, man, I could do that, and wrapping hands, well, I could do that. And so because I had a job, I always had an 8 to 5 job with RJ Reynolds Tobacco Company. So I would kind of leave work and go do some pad work and then go back to work and all that. So, but yeah, being a cutman kind of floated to the top, and that's where I'm at now.
So speaking of that, Uncle Stitch, what is it about Las Vegas that everybody from the Bay, whether it's San Mateo, Oakland, San Francisco, Richmond, why does everybody end up in Vegas with a swimming pool, man? How does that always happen? Everybody go to Vegas, get a swimming pool.
Yeah, because it's 115 degrees here. So it's you don't need to heat the water up, man. Nature does it itself, But yeah, water is a very hard commodity to have here, and if you have it, use it.
Yeah, because I just think about it. Then you thinking about the like you said, the A's are following you there. The Raiders. I never thought the Raiders would leave Oakland. I thought they would go back to LA before they left Oakland. But just to see all of Oakland's teams, leaving and going to Las Vegas, does it kind of make you sad, or do you kind of say, you know what, that's just life?
No, I love it, man. And I just got a message 15 minutes ago from my daughter. Ricky Henderson passed away.
Oh, wow.
And when they imploded the Tropicana, because that's where they're going to build the stadium at, right? Well, I have friends at MHA Nation from North Dakota, the tribe, that next to the stadium, they're going to build a big old giant hotel resort, and they're trying to build the stadium where they bring in the new NBA team. So anyway, when they did the implosion, Ricky Henderson was there. The A's owners were there, but when they started doing the implosion, I caught Ricky Henderson walking towards the implosion where they had the fireworks that were saying A's and all that. And nobody really realized what was going through his head. I did, because I work with so many fighters. Right. And I filmed it, right? And I talked to him after that. I said, I understand what you're going through. You're saying goodbye to an era of the Oakland A's because now they're coming into Las Vegas. And I explained that to his wife also. And that was it, and then just find out a while ago that he passed away. But I told him, I said, when I lived in Oakland, I used to leave work because I was pretty flexible in my job. I used to leave work and go watch Laney College play baseball. Right. He would be there in the audience, just kind of kicking back. So, rest in peace, Ricky Henderson.
Rest in peace, definitely rest in peace.
And here from Oakland, I'll ask you this. People don't realize Oakland is really a small town. It's really just the west side and the east side. So when you think about how much has changed, when the last time you've been home?
Ooh, it's been a while. I have my brother-in-law still lives in Oakland, so yeah, it's been a while. Hopefully I go back, just kind of kick back and see Oakland again. I'm sure people said it's changed, but it changed when I was there. So it's just the evolution, bro.
Well, you'll see lots of people like me and you, though, Uncle Stitch. That's the only thing.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. That's over with. That's over with. Yeah. Let me ask you the $1 million question, because you was I know the last fight with UFC. I think you was in TJ Dillashaw's corner. and you've had the last fight that I recall you being in. You were in Mike Tyson's corner, if I'm correct,
Yeah.
in the Jake Paul fight, and you've heard all the chatter and everything everybody had to say about the fight being rigged and this and that, this and that. You had a first-hand experience. Nobody better than Anthony. You was there. How do you feel about the fight?
Yeah, well, it's a social media fight first and foremost. I mean, I've done like 5 of them with Logan Paul and against Logan Paul, against Jake Paul, and it's all entertainment. But in this situation, Mike Tyson, you can beat anything, but you can't beat time. And in the training, he was training extremely, extremely hard. And I knew like 2 months before that I was going to work with him, but I never said nothing because I just didn't know if he was going to be able to withstand all this training. But at the end of the second round, I told Amir Abdullah, one of the coaches, I said, look, man, he hit a brick wall, so that was it. But he, nothing was staged where, he's giving Jake Paul the advantage or anything like that. Mike just couldn't pull the plug, and age can beat anything, but you can't beat time, bro.
To be in that shape at almost 60
let me just
is
say,
terrific.
Let me just say, for me to have worked, because I've known Mike for 27 years. Before he even had his tattoos, we used to train in the same gym, and he always had his own team. But to have been called to work with him on this one was heaven sent. Name another person that's worked with Mike Tyson. So it's been a blessing for me.
Definitely, and there's a thing like you said. Father Time is undefeated. Ain't nobody beating Father Time. I think people have a hard time understanding that. Even though we know what Mike Tyson once was, he's almost 60 years old. You can't beat it. And I'm not mad. I feel like Jake Paul gave Mike Tyson an opportunity to make a lot of money. So I'm not really. It doesn't bother me that fight happened. And it's an exhibition, basically in my mind, even though it counted on that record. 2-minute rounds, 8 rounds,
14-ounce gloves. Yeah.
What can you say about it?
It was all 100% entertainment. But it was enough for me to buy my wife a car. So
that's the best part.
I can't hate that, man.
Man, hey, you can't hate that. That definitely was a plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Man, definitely was a plus. The women's fight. I know that you're like when it comes to me and BVO, we keep up with women's boxing just like we keep up with men's boxing. They said they had over 50 million people watch Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, and you've had people say that. You heard that, and I heard Clarissa Shields come out and say it's still not the all-time most watched women's fight because it wasn't the main event. How do you feel about that?
I thought it was a great fight, and you're talking about 50 million people. I'm in the dressing room when Mike's getting ready, and I'm watching the fights on the screen, and I'm looking at my partner, Mike Basil's the one that was working on Amanda Serrano, and you look at the techniques, he did everything properly right. But you said 50 million people. The guy from Netflix was in our dressing room, and during that fight, there was like 50 million households that were looking at it. And then by the time it finished, before Mike went out, there was like 65 million households. And then Jake Paul came out with a statement thanking everybody for the success, but they estimated there was like 150 million people that were watching the fight. Bro, they're stopping me everywhere. Everywhere, guys call me, just they saw me on TV, with Mike Tyson. So yeah, there was a whole lot of eyeballs, and sure, of course, Clarissa Shields going to say that, but it was a great, great fight for the girls, right? And but in a situation like that, should they have stopped the fight sooner and let it go to the scorecards? And I think at that point, Amanda Serrano was winning the fight, and just through nutrition and the mind games and all that, Katie Taylor came on strong. So, but what a fight, man. I mean, tremendous man. Yeah, you're not going to, you got to respect them. I hope, and I think you'll see a rematch. And from what I understand, they each made $6 million, so you can't hate that.
Wow.
I'll say this though, Uncle Stitch. You can see her skull, man. That was a pretty bad cut, man.
No, you can. Mike, me and Mike are watching that, and he says, man, it looked like she got shot with a bullet. But you're right, and at that point, you make a decision, do you want to save her? Are you looking at long-term damage, or are you looking at blood in the eyes? But on the mechanical side, Mike Basil did a good job from keeping it from bleeding to where it was going to be a big disadvantage. Yeah, the cut looked bad, and it was bad, but you got to look at the long-term thing and protect them, you know. And so,
Who do you think
Yeah.
won that fight? I mean, your own
I
personal
don't pick them,
opinion.
bro. Yeah, I don't pick them, and I didn't see them all because I'm, you know, we're getting ready to go out and all that.
Right.
I'm more concerned with looking at the corner during the break
Definitely,
and seeing the work.
That right there, you always got to watch the corner. And
Yeah.
I did watch the fight. I kind of felt like that Amanda Serrano did edge the fight, but like you said, they made a lot of money for as far as women, and I'm glad to see the women getting paid like that. You know,
100%.
that's a plus in boxing right now.
Yeah, no, you know, and Jake Paul, you got to give him credit. He's a master. He's a master at marketing, and that's all that these are is masters. They're marketing, you know, and yeah, for being such a young guy, and he's really a pretty good kid. You know, him and Logan Paul, like I said, I've worked against them. You know, they've asked for my card, but they're good kids, and I knew they were athletes because they were both high-level wrestlers in high school and in Ohio, right? And so wrestlers make good athletes, and he made that transformation and has done well.
Definitely.
And you gotta remember, Uncle Steve, he's from Cleveland, man. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, and it's great. You know, I love working with Jared Anderson and you know, all these guys from Cleveland. It's just Mason Abdullah. You know, they're just good kids, man. And for me, they're like my babies. You know, so
Yeah, definitely. You being in the corner with the fighters and stuff, Jared Anderson, which is a young heavyweight, we seen, you know, he had basically he lost his last fight, but you had the opportunity to talk with him and stuff and, you know, see where his mindset was at. And I think with boxing, do you feel like it's too because you've been a part of the martial art world and boxing as well? When it comes to that, you know, your mental and your mental state has to be in the right place when you're going in that ring. Do you feel like that?
100%, bro. You know, and yeah, that's it. You know, and I told Jared, you know, you just got to continue going. But you're talking about the the mental stage, right? So
Yes,
I'll tell you the story with Vladimir Klitschko when he fought Anthony Joshua, his last fight when he lost his world title. So I didn't see Vladimir until Friday at the weigh-ins because my daughter Carla had just gotten married in Crete, and I flew into London on Thursday night. So I'm sitting there talking to him and Vitaly, and we're going over how you doing, how you feeling, and you know, and all that. And finally, at the end, as I'm leaving, I put my hand on Vladimir's shoulder and said, "Look, don't worry about nothing tomorrow. We'll take care of you like you're my son." And I leave because I know they can't sleep at night. Well, Carlos, here I am right before Michael Buffer does the announcements. I'm putting the final Vaseline on Vladimir, and we're like this far apart. And he says, between him and I, he says, "You could call me son." And bro, if that meant only one thing, that he thought about me taking care of him throughout that night, that it made a difference. She lost the fight, but he says one of the best fights she ever had. And then he called me and said, "Hey, Daddy," you know. And but then I saw him the last time I've seen him in BVO. I hope to get to see him again. Was in Germany like 3 months later. And I asked him, I said, "Vladimir, that one moment, why?" And he says, "Stitch," he goes, "there's very few people I trust in my life. You are one of them." You know, so
man.
does it make a difference? Yeah, it does, bro.
It does. It definitely does.
You know, these guys, they're modern day gladiators, you know, but deep inside they're all babies. And my job is to take care of the baby.
Yeah,
And,
it is.
and speaking of that, Uncle Stitch, I want to ask you about something that's really been plaguing boxing, these extreme weight cuts. You think they're going to do something about these guys cutting 20, 30, 40 pounds? We had a guy, he cut, I think he's 5'11". He got all the way down to 147 and looked like a skeleton, man.
Yeah,
So what do you
yeah.
think about these extreme weight cuts we're getting in boxing in the UFC now?
Yeah, no, I think they have to be improved, you know, and you're right. You know, it does create long-term damage down the road. You know, in fact, I just worked 2 weeks ago in Phoenix, Oscar Valdez when he fought Navarrete. And so, no, I take that back with Robesi when he fought the other guy. The other guy at the weigh-ins was all dried out. You could just see his eyes were sunken in. And they were talking about it yesterday. He gained like 20 pounds for the fight. And he just looked so much bigger. So, yeah, there should be some restrictions.
Yeah.
They used to be, the fights used to, or the weigh-ins used to be the day of the fight. And, you know, they changed it because it wouldn't give you enough time to rehydrate. You could drink all this water, but you got to let it get into the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I think the IBF, they'll test you in the morning and you can't be no more than 10 pounds beyond what your actual contract weight was. And I think, more organizations need to follow that rule book because it's not fair. If you remember Arturo Gatti when he fought, what was his name? Anyway, he came in like 15, 20 pounds bigger. So that's an issue.
Definitely.
Because I think the thing that a lot of guys don't understand, they like the benefits of it, but I look at Riddick Bowe, who really didn't take a lot of punishment. That had the stuff he's dealing with now had to be from weight cuts because Riddick Bowe didn't get touched like that for him to be speaking the way he does.
Well, it's a little bit different there, BBO, because in the heavyweight division you don't have to lose weight.
Yeah.
But I saw Riddick Bowe. I've seen James Toney just recently, and their speech pattern has definitely taken a big nosedive. But that's and I was just thinking this morning as I was taking a shower, I said, should I put it out on social media? Which sport is more dangerous when it comes to long-term injuries? Is it football? Is it boxing? Is it MMA? Is it bare knuckle fights? Is it slap boxing? Which one of those is going to create more long-term damage? Well, they all will, but which one will which one is uninvited that you could prevent, so.
I don't think you can really, like you said, and we going back to the Riddick Bowe, BVO, you're right. But if you think about it, he had some real tough fights with Evander Holyfield. And I think what Stitch is saying, like, it don't take a lot of punishment as a heavyweight to really end up being in that situation. I think those fights right there, those wars, they kind of hurt him too. Because those were some real wars that he had with Holyfield, some real good fights. I think those fights right there with Holyfield were some of the best heavyweight fights I've ever seen. And they had 3 of them. And, man, they was all wars.
Yeah, no, and don't forget the damage that's done in sparring.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, Chuck Bodak, I interviewed him years ago, and he said, Muhammad Ali used to let guys hit on him, and just to, in the old mentality that it would prepare you physically and mentally, but it creates long-term damage. So,
the reason I said it about Riddick Bowe is because he was known to gain like 50, 60 pounds in between fights.
Yeah.
He liked to fight at 250, but it was nothing for him to go to 350. Even 100 pounds at times because he was so. People forget about Riddick Bowe. He was so much better than anybody else. Yeah. I just say I wonder was it because he would have to. He's the only guy I've ever seen him and Muhammad Ali who had to lose weight for fights because people talk about Muhammad Ali now in hindsight, but those who are around him said Muhammad liked to eat. Same thing with Riddick Bowe because Riddick Bowe eat ice chips when he was cutting weight. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine eating ice chips for 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's just more to keep your lung capacity in your throat.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
But Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the legendary light heavyweight champ years ago, he says the ultimate goal of a fighter is to render his opponent unconscious, and that's the knockout. The knockout is the best victory you could get in combat sports.
It is. Let me ask you this: you was in, I believe, Tyson Furys' corner for the Deontay Wilder fight, if I'm correct. Yes. So did you not get a call? Because I think, are you strictly working with Top Rank right now?
No. Top Rank brings us in as house cutmen for their shows, but they understand if I have a show that's bigger, economically and all that, then we have alternates that we have that come and take our place. So
okay. Yeah. Okay, so because I was wondering, I figured that you might have, when you told me you were free, I was like, okay, the Tyson Fury fight is coming up. I thought you might have, was going to be in his corner for this fight.
Nah, it's just stuff happens, right? But you know what? And now that BBO, you brought up Vladimir Klitschko, right? I know when he found out that I was working with Tyson Fury, he kind of questioned it a little bit.
I'm sure.
My job is to take care of fighters.
Definitely.
It's not so much economics. And what happened in that situation is that Jorge Capatillo, that worked the fight before, wasn't really a cutman. He's more of a trainer, but he did everything mechanically on what he saw us doing. But he is the one that suggested to Bob Arum and Tyson Fury to bring me in because I was more qualified.
Definitely.
Yeah, but Fury said some horrible stuff to Vladimir, and I think, don't get me wrong, someone calling you a devil worshiper and all that. I mean that's not cool. So I think that's what that was. That was more the stuff that Tyson said.
And that's it. He's still like that. That's his personality. You know.
Yeah. You know, Vladimir tried to break his mouth. I remember that.
Yeah. I think that might have a lot to do with it too, you know. But the thing about, you know, I think a lot of time when Fury does say stuff, it's more of him trying to get inside your heads.
That's all it is, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of the stuff he does actually mean it. And looking, I know you don't like to make a prediction on fight. I got Fury winning tonight. I believe that the last fight, I think Fury let off the gas. I thought it was Fury looked good up until I think he got comfortable, and I think he let off the gas. I believe he's focused. We seen him come in yesterday. I think he weighed 281, and he had on a leather coat and all that. So I don't know if he's gonna be anywhere close to 281. He could be closer to 250, 260. I don't know, but I think the Fury's gonna win tonight. I think that we're gonna get a trilogy out of that, and I'm just looking forward to it. How do you kind of see it playing out? Do you think the first fight could have went either way? Do you think it was close?
I didn't see the first fight, and I ain't concerned about this one
either. Oh, you didn't see the first fight?
Nah.
Hey, you gotta remember, man. Uncle Stitch is neutral, man.
I know he is. I know he's neutral, yeah. And that's why I'm trying to get a. That's why I'm trying to get a.
No, but you know, keep in mind, Carlos, is I do this all the time, man. And you know, weekends like this, I want to spend it with my family. I'll read about it. You know, that's fine.
Okay.
And then I did so many fights, and like you said, BBO. I got too many fights. I'm gonna spend other time with my family, man.
Right. So you don't watch a lot of fighting out there. If you're not in the corner, do you ever watch fights?
Every once in a while, but I normally like to look at the work in between the corners. You know,
that's genius work right there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm finishing up my year on the 28th. I fly to Tokyo, so I got a New Year's Eve show there, and then start the new year off again. You know.
So speaking of that, I got to ask you this before we get out of here, Uncle Stitch. Are you and your wife ready to be Santa this year? I know you're gonna get ready to buy some presents, man.
I give them cash, man. I let them buy their own presents. You know, my wife is out shopping right now. You know, I don't like shopping. You know, I'll take her sometimes. I'll walk around and then go wait for her in the car and all that. But now my kids, I've been blessed enough to, you know, give them some cash and let them get their own stuff.
Let them get their own stuff.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at picking. And I told them, don't buy me nothing because, you know, usually you buy me something I don't need, you know. And
before you get out of here, I want to ask you one more thing. How much longer do you see yourself probably doing this? Have you put a time on it, or do you know you just really have never thought about it?
Well, yeah, I you know, physically I feel good. Mentally, I feel good. I was telling myself when I retire working corners, you know, because I'll always be in this game, right? Is when my mechanics start failing me, start slowing down and all that. And I give the fighter a disadvantage. But I'm not at that stage right now. I turned 73 on the 29th, and, you know, I'm blessed. I feel good. And, you know, I'm continue. But on the same side, there's other programs that I'm working with. You're talking about the book that they wrote on me, Carlos. But now it's turning into a documentary from the fields to the garden.
Okay.
And we're about just about done. We're about 45 minutes into editing a 90-minute film. And then Michael B. Jordan and their team are going to help us take it to Amazon. Then I have other Hollywood people that have seen it that want to take it straight to Netflix. You know, so I got the best of both worlds. And by March, I think we'll have what they call first cut. And then we'll start doing film festivals and all that.
Man, this is my last question on this. I gotta ask you this for the people, man. So, what would you say to somebody who's say in their 30s or late 20s and they're still chasing their dream? What would be your advice for them? Because we know that you got some good advice for them. What would you say?
Don't stop, man. You know, hey, I've been through the top, I've been through the bottom, but you know, I always tell people that one line that we're all scared to cross, and I know we've all been there. If you don't cross, you never get there, man. You know, just like you, Carlos. You know, you say you're dry and clean for a year. That took a lot of obstacles. Okay, 3 years.
Yes, sir.
That took a lot of obstacles for you to get to where you're at now, see?
Yes, sir.
But if you don't take those obstacles, if you don't cross them, shit, you'll never get there. It's not an easy life, man, to go and follow your dreams. And, you know, but like I say, if I could do it, anybody could do it. And that's what makes this documentary so good because, you know, I grew up as a farm worker, you know, and picking, you know, if you ate it, I picked it for you. You know, how many guys you know that pick cotton? Shit, I have. You know, tomatoes, peaches, nectarines, you know, figs. And you ate them, I picked them for you. But and I'm that simple little guy that grew up there. But I've been blessed to follow my dreams and try to bring as many people with me as I can. I always say when I moved to Vegas, is I'm going to the top. I'm taking a bus. If you guys want to get on the bus, let's go, man, because I'm doing with or without you. You know? So,
Definitely.
Hey, on that note, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I love you, Uncle Stitch, man. I look forward to talking to you soon, man. Take care. Enjoy your holidays, man. Merry Christmas.
Hey, before
thank
you
you,
go,
guys.
BBO, I'm gonna hold you up because even though Mr. Stitch, I know he don't want to give predictions. Me and BBO gonna give our predictions, and I just want to tell you, it's truly an honor to talk to you. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm always looking to see you in the corner, and sometimes I feel like when I don't see you in the corner, the right cut man is not in the corner. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you for real, that's how I feel. I'm like, okay, I don't see Stitch in the corner. I'm worried about the cuts and all that. It makes me worried. So, man, God bless you, and I truly appreciate you. And this has been an honor and a pleasure to talk to you.
No, thank you, guys. I love this barbershop talk.
Yes,
I was at
sir.
the Mayweather gym yesterday, kind of, just chatting with the guys, barbershop talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I went to Top Rank and barbershop talk, and I enjoy this is my relaxation, and I enjoy it. And thanks for having me on, man. And I'm sure we'll be doing it again.
we
BBO,
definitely
you already got
will.
my number direct, man. So,
Absolutely.
Yes,
let's
sir.
talk turkey and hopefully, in the new year we can talk about this film that they're doing on me.
Oh,
The
definitely.
documentary.
Definitely.
It's pretty
Oh
great.
yeah.
It's sick. It's they've done a great job on
Definitely.
bringing out the story. So
One of the greatest stories ever told. What they say, Feliz Navidad.
oh yeah, been doing your homework, huh, bro?
Oh yeah.
I love it, man. Well, Feliz Navidad to you guys, man.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, take care,
Same to
Armand. I love
you.
you, man.
Love you too, bro.
Salute to you. I'm gonna let you out of here. Hold on. Hey, okay, come here, my man. He wanted to say hi to you, BBO. There go BBO. Go ahead and tell him hi.
What's up, man?
Why you have football stadium?
Why you got a football stadium? Oh,
Cause
he
me
from
and you Browns fans.
Cleveland Browns. Okay, let me finish talking. Okay,
Where's the other guy?
he's not on here right now. Let me finish my interview. Okay, and
Okay.
me and BBO talking boxing. Okay, love you. Okay, let me finish. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, all right, man. That was an honor and pleasure. You know what I'm saying? The first time I got the opportunity to talk with Mr. Stitch was on your channel, and now me and you, we can definitely get into how you feel about what's about to take place tonight, and how do you feel? How do you see this playing out tonight?
In my opinion, it's gonna be a boring fight where Tyson Fury gonna use a lot of dirty tactics, man. He gonna hang on him, lay on him. He's not every time he looks like he looked at that way. I think he shut him down for 10 minutes, something like that. Um, the last time I seen Tyson Fury like that, he beat the life out of my favorite fighter, Deontay Wilder. I mean, he
Yeah,
beat the
yeah,
life
yeah,
out of him. So I mean, he's going to go in there and he's going to hurt him. I
yeah,
always call Usyk the White Holyfield,
yeah.
but that's not going to work because Riddick Bowe is coming tonight. So,
Man, hey, you just said something that really makes sense, and I'm thinking about it. Uh, because I caught the end of the weigh-in. Did Tyson
mhm.
Fury ever take the jacket off any of that?
No, he had his full clothes on, so he's probably about 275
Yeah,
somewhere around there. He just want
275.
that was more or less an intimidation tactic he used. He was like doing his Jack Dempsey impression,
Yeah, yeah, because
letting him know who the boss was. And let's be honest, man. He's dominated this heavyweight division so long. And let's be real. No one ever gave him a real fight. Not
no,
Deontay Wilder. Nobody. I mean, we could talk about Vladimir. Vladimir looked like a man who was finished when he fought Tyson.
a
Tyson beat the
deer in
life out of
headlights.
him.
A deer in headlights.
Yeah, he looked finished. He looked better against AJ than he did against Fury. So I mean, Tyson Fury is just a bored king who lost, but he's gonna go on there. He's gonna f that boy up. He's gonna f him
Yeah,
up.
and I ain't gonna lie to you. I went on and I put $250 on the stoppage tonight in Tyson
Yeah,
Fury. He
you
might not
smart man.
happen,
I don't know if it'd be a stoppage because they have some of the worst referees in the world
but
when it comes to these fights in the UK. I mean, the Riyadh season. They picked the worst referees I've ever seen ever. So it probably won't be a stoppage, but I just know Tyson Fury, whenever he comes in looking like that, he's about to beat somebody up bad,
Jolie,
real bad.
what What's up, Green Light? What's good, my brother? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, I think so too. I definitely think he's gonna beat him up. And I'm looking at this. I have three scenarios. If
Mhm,
Tyson Fury doesn't, if he does get the victory and they fight again,
mhm.
get a third fight, I got three ways I want to see it play out. If Tyson Fury wins the third fight, I definitely maybe would love to see him and Anthony Joshua. But if Usyk wins this fight right here, I think that him and Daniel Dubois should run it back. You think that's a wrap for him if he doesn't retire?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say if he wins this fight, unless he's going to go get the Jared Andersons, the what's I just lost his name, Richard Torres is if he unless
Yeah,
he's going to get the young guys like Lennox did or Ali did, I would say this would be the best time to hang him up because if you beat Tyson Fury twice, I
yeah,
mean, and you beat AJ twice, you beat only you know what's funny the only fights that he struggled in was the fight versus Derek Chisora. I mean, I'm talking about you could talk about the one with Triple D where he got the punch, but yeah, but he came and knocked him out when he got up. But only person that really gave him any real run was Derek Chisora, and that's
why
the
you think that
craziest
was
thing in the
though?
world. Go ahead.
Not cutting you off. Why do you think that was? Like out of all the fighters, why did he struggle with him?
Because he wasn't boxing. You can't. People
Right.
want to because Usyk is little. They want to box him. You don't box him. You go in there and beat him up. And Gisora did a great job of going in there and beating him up. He hit him
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
hips. He hit him on his elbows. You just got to really go in there, and you got to like. I hate to say it like you got to be. You got to go in there to take his life. I know that sounds kind of morbid to say, but you got to really have the mindset to take Usyk's life, or you're not going to beat him
yeah,
because he's willing to pass away in there, and that's what makes fighters special. Whether it's your Floyd Mayweather's, your Muhammad Ali's, dudes who ready, and I've seen it with Usyk. Usyk is ready to pass away in there because when he got hit with that Daniel Dubois shot, man, he got up. He was pissed. It
yeah. He
wasn't
was.
even. It wasn't even like, oh, it was almost like, what are you doing, putting your hands on me like that? And
He turned
he
into a whole different
destroyed
fighter
him.
after that. He turned
He
into a
destroyed
different
him, and then after, he said, Daniel, it's not the end of the world because Daniel's young. People don't realize that about Daniel. Daniel just beat Herkovich easy.
show did.
Herkovich, dude, people forget Herkovich beat the life out of Zilly Zhang.
He mopped Joshua.
Hey, man, and he mopped Joshua. We ain't never seen Joshua get knocked out like that.
No, no, no. Yeah,
So it's like people don't realize the next king of boxing, as far as heavyweight crown goes, is probably going to be a kid named Triple D, Daniel Dubois. Keep your eyes on him. He's getting better. He's an old school fighter where he done lost and he kind of gotten better. His defense is impeccable now.
yeah,
His defense has improved quite a bit. His placement, his punchman placement, his IQ in the ring, knowing where he is in the ring. I've just seen. I say Daniel Dubois and David Benavidez to me are my most improved boxers of the year.
definitely, definitely.
Both of these young men have improved their defense, and they both improved what I would call punch placement and ring IQ as far as knowing where they are in the ring. And you might say, hey, BBO, those are small technical things, but those two brothers, in my personal opinion, get my most improved because I've seen them really grow this last year. I mean, Herkovich ain't no joke, bro. To go in there and
And
dominate Herkovich, he dominated Herkovich. We never seen Herkovich dominated like that. Um, I just say this: if Usyk wins, you know what? I will put him up there as a really good heavyweight. I will put him top heavyweight. I will push him past Jack Dempsey. Jack Dempsey is number 20 on my list because Jack Dempsey did a lot of ducking and
yeah,
dodging, and Jack Dempsey is still my guy from Toledo, but he did a lot of ducking and dodging. He said it best, man. You know, he was afraid. He was afraid. What was my guy's name, man? The smaller heavyweight. I cannot think. I just lost his name. Black guy.
mm.
Dang, what was his name? He fought back then.
I'm trying to think myself.
He was at he was like 5'7". I can't think of his name. I
No,
don't
no,
know.
I ain't. I'm thinking about somebody else. I had it wrong.
He was a little guy, but I always lose his name. Man. I'm sorry. I always forgive me, guys. I always lose his name, but he ended up, end up losing his eye at some point because he was fighting and never complained. But it one thing I will tell you about this boxing game, we getting some good fights. We still looking for Uncle Alf and PBC. But other than that, boxing is doing well. It really
Yeah,
is.
boxing doing a whole lot better, and Turkey has a lot to do with that, man. You know, a lot of people don't want to give Turkey Al-Sheikh the credit that he deserves. I feel like that.
Mhm.
I don't got like I keep telling people I don't have a problem where the fights are staged yet. I just want to see the fights. And he's coming forward with a lot of good fights. And we got some good fights coming up in February. You know what I'm saying? Some great fights coming up in February. What do you think about that card in February? Can you hear me, BBL? He might have cut. He might have cut out, folks. He might have cut out. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, if you missed some of the interview, go back and check it out, man. We had Jacob Stitch Duran on here. We had a wonderful interview. And I'm about to go and get ready for something else. And I'll be back again with my other channel and my other topic. Y'all tune in, man. This is CDK Boxing, and I'm out.